Hello, welcome to the 2021 Porchlight Business Book Awards. Once again, we are prevented from celebrating with all of you in person, but we are excited and grateful for your presence as we virtually announce the best of the best in business books this year. For all its uncertainty, the upheaval we've all experienced over the past 2 years in our businesses and in our lives is an opportunity for change. We have learned that we are resilient, that we can adapt to new constraints, and that if we are a little brave and a lot determined, we can grow in ways we hadn't previously imagined. The 40 books that we have highlighted through our awards long list gave us a feast of new ideas to explore and put to work as we find our way through these uncertain times. And the winners celebrated today are those we have judged to be essential to understanding how we came to now and how we might get to where we aim to go. But before we begin the awards presentation, we would like to take a few minutes to reflect on the sudden passing of our guide, our company's founder, Jack Covert. I met Jack in 1997 on my first day of work as a customer service associate at Schwartz Business Books, which would become 800 CEO Read and now Porchlight Book Company. Over my almost 25 years at this company, Jack was a constant, the heartbeat. He was first my boss, but became my mentor, my advisor, and my friend. Yet those words are inadequate to describe the impact Jack had. He was simply the most influential adult in my adult life. And because of that, because of 25 years of memories, it's hard for me to single out a story to tell you that encapsulates all Jack was to me and to all of us at Porchlight, who grew up and flourished under his eye. Instead, his story is told through snippets of conversation, book recommendations, memories of the summer picnic and quite vicious croquet matches, every pragmatic one-liner he habitually uttered, and each time, and it seemed like every time, he asked if we'd followed up on an order less than 5 minutes since he told us about it. His story is imprinted upon each of us through his everyday kindness and the space he gave us all to be ourselves and to become everything we had the potential to be. When I think about Jack and his presence in our lives, I think of Maya Angelou's poem, When Great Trees Fall. And here is the end of that poem that says everything that needs saying. And when great souls die, after a period, peace blooms. Slowly and always irregularly, spaces fill with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses, restored, never to be the same, whisper to us, they existed, we can be and be better, for they existed.
I'm Rebecca Schwartz, third-generation bookseller and CEO and owner of Porchlight Book Company. I met Jack in 1984 when he was hired by my father, who saw in him the spark of a merchant, the highest compliment from A. David Schwartz. From wrangling a successful concern out of the emerging business book market to imprinting his vision on the book industry itself, Jack's legacy remains indelible. His sudden passing this summer left a chasm, both personal and professional, for so many of us at Porchlight and in the broader book world. It is with this loss in mind that we have made an unusual decision. This year, we give the Jack Covert Award for contributions to the business book industry posthumously to Jack Covert himself. From Jack's early days as an intrepid and roving book salesman to his shrewd sense of the power of the book to refine or even reform a reader's perspective, to his preternatural sense of when and how our own business should change course, Jack influenced so many of us. With low-key confidence and a directness of approach that belied his wisdom, Jack was a mentor, a colleague, and a friend whose legacy and lessons we carry with us daily. We miss him.
Hi, I'm Dylan Schleicher, the Marketing and Editorial Director here at Porchlight Book Company. Here at Porchlight, we believe it is important for both our businesses and our democracy that we as individuals stay abreast of the latest ideas and trends, current events, and developments. But following the news closely over the past 4 or 5 years has placed us on an emotional roller coaster, where every bit of hope and progress that propels us forward is followed by a terrifying descent into what seems to be the worst of it yet. When we turn to books, we are able to break free from the news cycle roller coaster. What books offer us is more akin to a hot air balloon ride that gives us a slower paced and broader view of the world, or scuba diving to plumb the depths of the issues we face. The picture doesn't necessarily get any rosier, but it does become clearer. And to address the challenges we face, so many of which predate the pandemic, gaining clarity on the reality of the situation is key. So let's turn to the books of 2021. First up, in the Leadership and Strategy category, the 4 finalists are All In, an autobiography by Billie Jean King with Jonette Howard and Marianne Knopf. Gentelligence, the revolutionary approach to leading an intergenerational workforce by Megan Gerhardt, Josephine Nachemson-Ekwall, and Brandon Fogel, Rowman and Littlefield. Transformation in Times of Crisis, 8 principles for creating opportunities and values in a post-pandemic world by Nitin Rakesh and Jerry Wind, Notion Press. Trauma to Triumph, a roadmap for leading through disruption and thriving on the other side by Mark Golston and Diana Hendel, HarperCollins Leadership. And the best leadership and strategy book of 2021 is The Promises of Giants by John Amici, Nicholas Brealey.
Hello there, my name is John Amici. I'm the author of The Promises of Giants. And I just want to say thank you to the Porchlight Business Book Awards for making me their best book in the leadership and strategy category. I am utterly thrilled. It's an early Christmas present, early holiday present. It's been wonderful. I mention in the book that this is really borrowed wisdom from friends and colleagues in academia, and of course my mum. I think the best thing about the book is the fact you get to meet her. So thank you very much for recognizing the book and the borrowed wisdom of many.
Hi, I'm Gabriela Cisneros, the Creative and Social Media Manager at Porchlight. I've loved seeing so much appreciation for our book coverage on social media this year. It's really special for me and for Porchlight to be a part of this community of authors and readers, online and in business, because there is so much diversity in what we read and who we work with that keeps this job and the world really exciting to exist in. So, for the Management and Workplace Culture category, the 4 finalists are The Burnout Epidemic, The Rise of Chronic Stress and How We Can Fix It by Jennifer Moss, Harvard Business Review Press. The Conversation, How Seeking and Speaking the Truth About Racism Can Radically Transform Individuals and Organizations by Robert Livingston, Currency. Fair Pay, How to Get a Raise, Close the Wage Gap, and Build Stronger Businesses by David Buckmaster, Harper Business. The Ministry of Common Sense, How to Eliminate Bureaucratic Red Tape, Bad Excuses, and Corporate BS by Martin Lindstrom, Mariner Books. And the best management and workplace culture book of 2021 is Anthervision, A New Way to See in Business and Life by Gillian Tett, Avid Reader Press.
Hello, I am absolutely thrilled to have been honored by Porchlight in this way. In the last decade or two, business and finance and much of public policy has been enthralled to big data and artificial intelligence. What my book argues is that alongside AI, we need to think about a second type of AI, anthropology intelligence, the social and human context of what we do. We've seen that during the pandemic, in the sense that no matter how brilliant your medical science and computer science, you can't stop a pandemic without thinking about social science. And that applies to business, finance, and all areas of public policy making as well. So I hope this honor, for which I'm grateful, helps get the message out that it's time for AI to be incorporated with another type of AI, and for us to celebrate what truly makes us human. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Emily Porter, and I'm the Communications and Publicity Manager here at Porchlight. This year I made the transition from our sales department into our marketing department. Working on awards in years prior, I was excited to fully jump in and live and breathe the awards for the last 5 months. I look forward to getting to know even more of the wonderful teams and individuals that make doing what we do possible. In the marketing and sales category, the 4 finalists are Brand Hacks, How to Build Brands by Fulfilling the Consumer Quest for Meaning by Emanuel Probst, Powerhouse Books. The Human Element, Overcoming the Resistance That Awaits New Ideas by Lauren Nordgren and David Schoenthal, Wiley. Sales Management That Works, How to Sell in a World That Never Stops Changing by Frank Cespedes, Harvard Business Review Press. The Secret Lives of Customers, a detective story about solving the mystery of customer behavior by David S. Duncan, Public Affairs. And the best marketing and sales book of 2021 is The Widest Net, Unlock Untapped Markets and Discover New Customers Right in Front of You by Pamela Slim McGraw-Hill. Congratulations.
Happy New Year. I'm Pamela Slim, the author of The Widest Net here at the Main Street Learning Lab in Mesa, Arizona. First, I just want to say thank you so much, Porchlight staff, everybody who was involved in the process of reading so many great submissions and making the hard determination about the category winners. I'm so thrilled that we won the sales and marketing category, but a huge nod to my fellow nominees. You all wrote great books that are going to make such a big difference. I think all of us who probably wrote our books during the lockdown and during a global pandemic know it is hard to get books out into the world, but the reason we write them is to really enact the change that we want to see. People are going to take our books, they're going to do great things with them, and it's because we had the fortitude to get them out into the world. So congratulations to everyone. Have a wonderful year, and I can't wait to stay connected.
In the Innovation and Creativity category, the 4 finalists are Honor Thy Label, Dr. Bronner's Unconventional Journey to a Clean, Green, and Ethical Supply Chain by Garo Lizan, Portfolio. Mother of Invention, How Good Ideas Get Ignored in an Economy Built for Men by Katrine Marsal, Abrams Press. 2 Beats Ahead, What Musical Minds Teach Us About Innovation by Panos A. Panay and R. Michael Hendricks, Public Affairs. We Are What We Eat, A Slow Food Manifesto by Alice Waters, Penguin Press. And the best innovation and creativity book of 2021 is Creative Acts for Curious People, How to Think, Create, and Lead in Unconventional Ways by Sarah Stein Greenberg and Stanford D School, 10 Speed Press.
Hi everyone, I am so grateful to Porchlight for this incredibly wonderful nomination for a Business Book Award for Creative Acts for Curious People. And I'm so honored to be in this category with so many other fantastic books this year. With Creative Acts, I really set out to try to kind of bottle the essence of what we teach at the Stanford D School. And I think that these methods of approaching problems in a creative and unconventional way could not be more useful for the times that we find ourselves in, with the amount of uncertainty and ambiguity that each of us are really facing and navigating every single day. So I hope readers really enjoy and have fun and play with these methods. And I also hope that folks get a ton of utility out of them as we try to address some of the biggest challenges that we face, and to do so with resilience and that creative spark that we all need. Thank you again.
In the personal development and human behavior category, the 4 finalists are Chatter, The Voice in Our Head, Why It Matters, and How to Harness It, by Ethan Cross, Crown. Digital Body Language, How to Build Trust and Connection No Matter the Distance, by Erica Dawin, St. Martin's Press. An Ordinary Age, Finding Your Way in a World That Expects Exceptional, by Rainsford Stauffer, Harper Perennial. The Scout Mindset, Why Some People See Things Clearly and Others Don't, by Julia Galiff, Portfolio. And the best personal development and human behavior book of 2021 is The Wake Up, Closing the Gap Between Good Intentions and Real Change, by Michelle Mijong Kim, #go. Congratulations.
Hi everybody, my name is Michelle Mijong Kim, and I'm the author of The Wake Up, Closing the Gap Between Good Intentions and Real Change. This book is about going beyond the surface level conversations around diversity and inclusion to truly learning the foundational principles that we need to advance equity and justice in our daily lives as well as inside our organizations. I share a lot of juicy stories from my work with Fortune 500 companies, to tech giants, to countless executive teams all over the world, as well as my personal lived experiences as a queer woman of color in the United States. It also reckons with the fact that in order for us to create change in the world, we must first create change within ourselves. I am so incredibly thankful and humbled by this recognition by Porchlight. Thank you so much for not only highlighting my book and the stories in it, but amplifying and recognizing so many voices of color and underrepresented authors. I am so grateful. Thank you again, and congratulations to everybody else.
In the current events and public affairs category, the 4 finalists are Engine of Inequality, The Fed and the Future of Wealth in America, by Karen Petru Wiley. Saving Us, A Climate Scientist's Case for Hope and Healing in a Divided World, by Catherine Hayhoe, Atria, One Signal Publishers. Shutdown, How COVID Shook the World's Economy, by Adam Tooze, Viking. The 6 New Rules of Business, Creating Real Value in a Changing World, by Judy Samuelson, Barrett Kohler. And the best current events and public affairs book of 2021 is Arriving Today, From Factory to Front Door, Why Everything Has Changed About How and What We Buy, by Christopher Mims, Harper Business.
In the narrative and biography category, the 4 finalists are The 1619 Project, A New Origin Story, by Nicole Hannah Jones and the New York Times Magazine, One World. Ages of American Capitalism, A History of the United States, by Jonathan Levy, Random House. Amazon Unbound, Jeff Bezos and the Invention of a Global Empire, by Brad Stone, Simon & Schuster. Collision Course, Carlos Ghosn and the Culture Wars That Upended an Auto Empire, by Hans Greimel and William Sposado, Harvard Business Review Press. And the best narrative and biography book of 2021 is Susan, Linda, Nina, and Koki, The Extraordinary Story of the Founding Mothers of NPR, by Lisa Napoli, Abrams Press. Congratulations.
Hi, Porchlight. It's Lisa Napoli. I'm coming to you live from my terrace here in downtown Los Angeles. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for honoring my latest book, Susan, Linda, Nina, and Koki, The Extraordinary Story of the Founding Mothers of NPR. I've written most of my books here in this crazy place, downtown LA, and it's always so exciting to know they get out into the world in the hands of an amazing bookseller and amazing readers. So thank you so, so much. Best wishes to all of you.
And finally, in the Big Ideas and New Perspectives category, the 4 finalists are 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman, Ferrer, Strauss, and Giroux. Mission Economy, A Moonshot Guide to Changing Capitalism by Mariana Mazzucato, Harper Business. Out of Office, The Big Problem and Bigger Promise of Working from Home by Charlie Warzel and Anne Helen Peterson, Knopf. Regeneration, Ending the Climate Crisis in One Generation by Paul Hawken, Penguin Books. And the best Big Ideas and New Perspectives book of 2021 is The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together by Heather McGee, One World.
As we all know, 2021 was a complicated and painful year in so many respects. Yet another reason to turn to the titles you've heard about today. As book people, we agree that, as Jack might have said, the right book in the right hands at the right time can make all the difference. With this in mind, this year's Porchlight Business Book of the Year is one we believe can indeed educate and compel its readers to think and to be different in approaching the topic of race, and particularly America's entrenched, malignant racism. Written by Heather McGee, a woman respected for her deep work and leadership in racial equity and justice organizations, The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together, is an urgent and important book for our historical moment. Rejecting the zero-sum paradigm, so often used as a bogus and obscuring device to prevent white Americans from recognizing the universal costs of racist policies, McGee deftly illustrates how the all-or-nothing premise that whatever benefits black people must necessarily harm whites is false and indeed harms everyone, in some ways especially the whites most involved in its propagation. Through personal stories, interviews, research, historical evidence, and the sharp eye of an economic analyst, McGee comes to portray what she calls the solidarity dividend, the gains we can all make when we defy the racial script written for us before the founding of our country and work together across race to improve opportunity, equality, and quality of life for all in this country. The Sum of Us rejects the fiction that Americans are competitors. As McGee says, we must emerge from this crisis in our republic with a new birth of freedom, rooted in the knowledge that we are so much more when the we in We the People is not some of us, but all of us. We are greater for and greater than the sum of our parts. Congratulations to Heather McGee for your compelling and indispensable book, The Sum of Us, the Porchlight Business Book of the Year for 2021.
Thank you all for joining us today. For so many readers this year, it is the book that has offered them nourishment. Everything from inspiration to revelation, from levity to a life raft. There is simply nothing like a book. And so it is our great pleasure and honor to celebrate you, whose work brought these new books to life, to people's lives this past year. Thank you.
Thank you to Porchlight Books for nominating my autobiography, All In, for a Porchlight Business Book Award in the category of Leadership and Strategy. All In is the first time I've told my story in my own words, and it offers insights I've gained about life, leadership, business, activism, sports, politics, relationships, and happiness along the way. I'm honored you chose to recognize it among these other fantastic books about leadership. On behalf of Jonette Howard, Marianne Vollers, and myself, thank you so much.
Hello from Tokyo, Japan. This is Hans Greimel, co-author of Collision Course from Harvard Business Review Press. In our new book, we try to put the dramatic rise and stunning fall of legendary auto executive Carlos Ghosn into its full context. It is much more than just a black and white tale of good actors and bad, although there is plenty of intrigue to go around. The real story is much more nuanced, and it says as much about international relations and business culture as it does about the complicated characters at the heart of this shocking scandal. So thank you very much for longlisting Collision Course for Porchlight's Business Book of the Year Awards. It's a real honor for us, and we hope you enjoy the book. Thank you very much.
Hello from Tokyo. I'm William Sposato, and I'd like to thank the editors at Porchlight Books for their recognition of our book Collision Course. Hans and I had a great time writing it. It's not just the story of Carlos Ghosn, even though that is a fascinating saga on its own. It's also a story of corporate governance, judicial systems, and of course the players, Nissan, Renault, the French government, and the Japanese government, all of whom played a key role in this story. So we think it's a great read, and we hope you enjoy it. Thanks very much.
Hey everyone, Ethan Cross here from the University of Michigan. I want to get in touch to convey how incredibly excited I am to discover that Chatter was selected for Porchlight's long list for Best Business Books of the Year. When you work on a book, for in my case close to 4 years, the hope that you have is that the message of that book will resonate with readers in some way that is consequential. And being selected for this long list communicates that that was the case for some readers. So thank you for this incredible honor and congratulations to the rest of the nominees.
Hi, my name is Frank Cespedes, and I'm the author of Sales Management That Works, published by Harvard Business Review Press. And I am honored that my book is being considered for a Porchlight Business Book Award. Selling is changing, but much of what you hear about the impact on sales of big data, artificial intelligence, e-commerce is misleading and not supported by the facts. My book tries to separate fact from hype and explain the implications in certain key areas. People, the implications for hiring, training, and the impact on careers in sales and sales management. Process, how to construct a sales model that is relevant to the changes. Pricing, how to communicate value and justify price in a very information-rich environment. And partners, omni-channel buying requires a multi-channel response. This is an important topic. Customer acquisition is the foundation for any business, so changes in selling always have wider implications on the rest of the organization. And in services-dominated economies like the United States and many other countries, sales productivity is not only a business issue, it is a social issue that has wider impacts on society, living standards, and opportunities to address inequality. I am grateful that Porchlight recognizes the importance of the topic and that the book is being considered for an award. Thank you very much.